Hey, it's Sunday. Time for a special edition of Action Figure Adventures here on SEO Toy Review. Today, we're taking a look at the White Walker, part of the Game of Thrones Legacy Collection. This series of figures was made in conjunction between Gentle Giant Studios and Funko. The White Walker was part of Series 1 of the Legacy Collection, which also included Jon Snow, Tyrion Lannister, Daenerys Targaryen, Ned Stark, and the figure I want the most from this series, the Hound. Here we have the White Walker out of the package. This is a icy ghoul type creature. They have unknown magical powers, originally created to protect the children of the forest from the First Men. Later, the White Walkers broke free and became their own unstoppable army under the leadership of the Night King. They're pretty gruesome, pretty fierce. They're tall, very powerful, and they have very unusual weapons that can shatter normal human weapons. The main thing that can kill the White Walkers are Dragon Glass and Valyrian Steel. These figures have really nice sculpted details and some great paintwork on them. Just look at all the detail in the face and his torso and things like that. Along with the nice paintwork and sculpting, these figures have a great range of motion through their articulation. The White Walker has articulation at the head. Of course, his hair does kind of get in the way, but it mostly can move around and be positioned, so it's not a real problem. He's got great articulation in his shoulders, nice range of motion there. I'm not a huge fan of their choice of using clear plastic in these articulation joints. I think they look a little weird at times. It seems like they tried to paint them, but the paint just rubs off those joints really quickly. It also makes some of those joints really tight, and you have to be careful when you take them out of the package. He has an articulation point at the wrist that swivels, as well as pivots. I am being extremely careful with this guy because when I was trying to loosen up his joints when I took him out of the package, I found out he's got a special zombie action feature. I broke his wrist. Now, granted, this figure is, not brand new. He was new out of the package, but they've been around for a while. This figure was a Comic-Con exclusive, I think, for 2014. So I don't know whether the plastic was brittle from the start. There is also a glow-in-the-dark feature on this guy, according to his package, and sometimes special glow-in-the-dark plastic can be brittle, but I think it's just glow-in-the-dark paint. He has an articulation point at his torso here. His loincloth piece is pretty flexible. It doesn't really interfere with his articulation at the hips. His legs can move pretty nicely. He has a rotation point just below the hip as well. He's got double jointed knees. And he's got rockers and rotation points at the ankle. Taking a closer look at his hands, you can see that they are kind of pre-posed in a way that's not real easy to get them to hold accessories. Speaking of accessories, the White Walker comes with this spear. It's made out of a very stiff plastic. It's got nice flexible strings on it here. They're made out of flexible plastic, and the tip, the blade, is made out of this cool icy clear plastic. But because of the way this hand is sculpted, you basically have to put it in blade end first because the handle just doesn't fit into that hand. And so it slides in here, it fits in pretty good, and then it just sort of stops. I can't get it to go in any further, and then that sort of makes him look okay holding it here, even though his hand's very close to the blade. But the spear won't touch the ground then, so he's just sort of always holding it awkwardly. You can't have him look like he's throwing it, and you can't really pose him to look like he's fighting with it, despite the fact that he has a nice range of motion. I hope you guys are excited for the second episode of Season 8. Comes out later tonight. Thanks for watching this Action Figure Adventures video. Do baby Skeletor a favor, hit that like and subscribe button.